What have you learned about the Akash and what has happened to planet Earth?
I'm going to call it like 12,000 years round of humans. This round, after the great floods, we came back and we anchored all of this high vibrational energy. There were stargates and all of these sacred sites like the pyramids that are all over the planet, right? I believe we were building more like 15, 20,000 years ago and then coming back to reactivate it because these are like the dormant libraries on the planet. They hold the vibration. We've gone through what I would just refer to as this karmic wheel of life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jeneth Blackert.
And I'm Leonka Reyna.
And this is the Hustle Morning Show. Today we're talking with Lisa Barnett, who is among the Akashic knowing. And I also want to pick her brain a little bit on timeline jumping and some past life regression and just past lives in general. Lisa and I met and did lots and lots of shows when I was running the New Wealth Experience back in 2011 through 2015. And then I took a little bit of a break and ran my own show. And now I'm back with a partner and it's more dynamic than ever. We just take just a couple minutes to warm up here.
Yeah.
Leonka gives us a little bit of a update around what's going on in the space weather news.
That's right.
And then I will give you a little bit of a morning brew. Before we dive into even that, I want to remind you on Thursday, we are talking with Orna and Matthew Walters.
Yay.
They're kind of big time speak on the stage performers, and they really talk about self-love and finding the love of your life. And sometimes that love of your life first becomes you. And they have a really cool way of talking about it. So I just really wanted you to feel welcomed and invited in.
Awesome.
So I'm going to hand it over for space weather news.
Good morning. I'm Leonka Reyna, and today's Mystic Space Weather News, we have a little bit of disturbance. It says a hole in the sun's atmosphere, a large hole has opened in the sun's atmosphere and is directly facing Earth. An emerging stream of solar wind should hit our planet March 9th through the 10th, and NOAA forecasters say that their arrival should spark G1 class geomagnetic storms with auroras and high latitudes. So again, lots of new charged particles hitting our atmosphere, upgrading us, creating some ascension symptoms, all the things that I always talk about, which is give yourself grace, grounding, and water for sure. And just know, the other thing I wanted to share for this Mystic Space Weather News, on March 10th, the reading comes to us from Divine Energy Works, and she always likes to give us a little bit about the Schumann resonance. And so for a full 24 hours, there was a blackout in the Schumann resonance with missing data. When the cosmic pulse disappears, we enter the void of infinite potential.
Ooh, fun.
I know. I thought that this might be a little bit more juicy and jazzy for today. The total lunar eclipse in Virgo is amplifying this quantum reset, dissolving old timelines and anchoring in the next evolutionary sequence in our cellular blueprint. Reality is shifting beneath our feet. Can you feel that? I mean, really, I know that there's something different. And I woke up and I had a couple different transmissions. I received a lot of channeling. I couldn't stop writing what was coming through. So just be open to having some, channeled writing, to connecting with your spirit guides. Asking, one of the things that I got last time was, if you have asked something of your spirit guides and maybe you never falls on deaf ears, but maybe didn't receive exactly like true guidance, I was told the directive is changed and that you can ask again and you will receive, always will receive. But that there is a new directive in which it's kind of more DFY, so done for you. Ask if your guides, and I know we talked with Karen Tobiasen. If you haven't watched that interview, I definitely suggest to do so. She talks about how you can ask your spirit guides, hey, do this and this and this for me, and then go to sleep, right?
Yeah, take a
I'm
nap.
gonna go take a nap and you're gonna handle that. And you know what? I've been working on that and I've been using it.
You've
And
been taking
lo
lots
and
of naps.
behold,
Whoa.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And to finish this up, it says reality is shifting beneath our feet. Surrender to the unknown, trusting that what is unfolding is in perfect alignment with your soul's highest evolution. So that is what I've got for today's
Mystic Space Weather News. Very fun. We do this because we talk about ascension symptoms all the time.
Yes.
And when the solar flares come up, that's usually when we're hit more with some of those ascension symptoms that we have here on planet Earth. So with the morning brew with Woo, this is going to be a short one, but I've been sharing some of my favorite products and supplements on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I started taking creatine, dare I say it, which I always thought was kind of a like bodybuilding
I did too.
workout thing. But apparently with perimenopausal women, which is what I am, it helps with brain fog, and it has helped, and it has like made me actually feel unstoppable, and
Love
maybe
it.
even just a little bit too much. And so with my channel coming online earlier this year, and this, I just do feel unstoppable. This is the brand I have. And if you are looking for, something to help with brain fog and you just want to give it a try, this was about $15, and I marked it on our Amazon marketplace, which is at the bottom of the newsletter. And I will also put it in the chat in just a few minutes.
Awesome. And she's going to let me try some, so I'll report back
I
to you.
know.
So I'm super excited.
I hadn't had something that was such a game changer, and I was like, creatine.
Oh, yay.
Creatine's a naturally existing supplement that we already have in our body. This is just giving you just a little bit more. And it's really good for workouts because it gives you all this extra energy.
Oh.
In my case, it just has made me go, whoa, so much energy.
See how sometimes it always talks about like when we have perimenopausal, things seems to be depleting. Why are they depleting? I don't know. Collagen, hormones, whatnot.
Try to ignore it and do a spiritual bypass.
Sanity.
Real.
So hopefully the creatine can help with some brain fog. So cool.
Very cool. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring Lisa up and let's connect with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, it's 11:11 here in Central Time. Hi, Lisa. Wow,
Hello.
long time no see.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. When you put a date on that, I'm like, seriously?
It's been 10 years, I think.
Plus.
And we started, you were my first OG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was telling Lisa that too, that I remembered her from when I was working in Janet's business, and Janet was one of my first clients. And so I was really supporting, and I was really new to all this stuff. And Lisa was one of the first people that like blew my mind, but then helped me put it all a little bit more back together, right? With this new knowledge. And I just was, I was like, I couldn't get enough of just some of the information she was sharing was so profound and just different. So it's super exciting.
Yeah. Yay. Yeah. No, I'm thrilled because, I mean, seriously, when I started talking about the Akashic records 30 years ago,
yeah.
oh my God, so many eye rolls, so many, what are you talking about? Akash, what do you know?
Yeah.
And now it's going more mainstream, so kind of my Akashic record guides and keepers have said, they asked me 30 years ago, please help us to re-anchor this vibration on the earth. And not like my job is done, but I see that really happening now with as many people as who don't know about the Akash, right? It was gone from the earth for like 1,000 years.
Wow.
They pulled the energy away because we as humans were misusing it during the Dark Ages. And so they left it be kind of far enough away that the real mystics could access it.
I said that. Yeah.
Yeah, we were bringing up topics around the Akash, and Lianka works with the Akash as well. So one of the things that came to my mind is I don't know that people actually know how to heal with the Akash, and I thought maybe we'd start the conversation there.
Absolutely. I would love to
Yeah.
dive in there because that is actually very connected to what you were talking about with all of this energy and the kind of that space of the void.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a long conversation, but let me see, like,
Yeah.
where do I start?
Start. That's what I
Um,
was wondering. But I
so
think for
let me,
people, yeah, maybe
yeah,
just kind of give us a little overview about how you did this work and how it's healed you, and then
Yeah,
let's
that's
talk
great.
about how it's healing others in so many different ways.
perfect. So let me just start with the what the Akashic records are.
Yes.
So they are the recording of your soul's journey through all time space continuum. So every soul, that means each person has their own Akashic library. I kind of like to look at it that way because I think it's, easier for our human brain than to try and imagine kind of some energy space in the quantum. But so from the moment you individuated from source, billions or trillions of years ago, everything you have ever been or done, every life on earth or other realms, right? Life in between lives, other worlds, other planets, all the starseed type thoughts and information, right? We live in other worlds and galaxies. All of that is actually recorded in your personal Akashic record or this amazing library all about you.
Mm-hmm.
So that is available to me. The big deal is that we have a team of Akashic record keepers, and they've never been human, which is such great news because that means they have no judgment about us.
Yeah.
They are pure beings of light, and they are here in service to you. So I say you, meaning each one of you listening has your own personal library and a team of about a dozen record keepers that are
Wow.
in service to you alone. So, big library, you need a whole team to help you decipher it.
Yeah. Wow. Which makes me want to open up the door. This is kind of a theme of my conversations this year. I started to channel from the Galactic Confederation, and I started understanding that I'm Arcturian and different things like that. So is that all in the Akash as well?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Interesting. Because I guess I thought of the Akash as being almost like totally separate from these. I don't know why I thought so. I just did.
Huh.
So that's actually my record on everything that this soul essence has ever done. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Huge.
I mean, there are levels of the Akashic record. So there is more this earthly kind of Akashic record. And most of us, and I find that spiritual people have usually lived at least 5 or 6 or 800 lives on earth alone because we've been
Mm-hmm.
coming back, we've been working
Mhm.
through karmic patterns, we've come even sometimes as other beings to the earth. We've come 50,000 years ago to Atlantis or
Yeah.
Lemuria. And so much of that is stored in your personal Akashic records. Then there's kind of higher vibrational Akashic records, which are called the Akusha. And then there's
Wow.
Cos Cosmania, which is, I think, like super galactic. I don't know. I don't really have access into Cosmania. Like these are levels,
Wow.
and they get so far out there. Even my brain, after spending, a lifetime in the Akash, sometimes goes like, I don't know. I can't get that. That's too much,
Yeah.
so there's levels, but
Mhm.
so one of the interesting things, and I know we're going to talk a little bit more about this, but when the Akashic record keepers started talking to me about 30 years ago, and I actually knew what the Akashic records were, which was pretty bizarre in
Yeah. Hmm.
its own right, but I was told that you were not allowed to go in. So I was a healer. I was an energy healer. My teacher said, go up to the gates of the Akashic records for your client, ask the record keepers to fill them up with their highest Akashic energy after you've cleared energy out. So kind of a basic idea that I don't even know if many people teach, but around healing, once you clear something out, it's so important to fill that space, that person with their highest, literally Akashic energy and light, their highest blueprint, their highest everything, right? Physical level energy, because we don't want to leave a space. We don't want to leave emptiness to be filled by random stuff, right? So I started 30 years ago going up to the gates because that was what I was taught because you weren't allowed in. And I could see the energy kind of coming down and filling them up. It looked like sparkles or water or sometimes a symbol, a book or something. And apparently, because I had already created this connection, that they started to talk to me. And I didn't have any idea who it was. But when I finally figured out that this is the record keepers talking to me and they say, it's time. Yes, we close the records. We pull that vibration away, but now is the time to bring it back. And to me, the big surprising bit of information they gave me was because I'm like, why me? Like I'm a mom in the suburbs, right? I'm just this normal woman over here raising 3 babies. And they said
I
that
can
you,
relate.
right? And you're like,
Yeah.
how did I end up here like talking
Yeah.
to the Akashic records,
And I always say the Akashic records called to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they reached me via dream. They knew how to reach me via symbols and they knew exactly what I would know was the record. And they were like, this is time. And I was like, oh, okay. And I had a book there and I tried to stay away, like, pass it off for about 3 years-ish.
You tried to ignore it.
I did. I tried to,
As
but
most of us do when we're on purpose, when our purpose is like right in our front of our face and we're like, yikes,
but I
I'm
always
scared.
knew that and oh, but it was very beautiful. It's very beautiful. Yes.
Yeah. So listening to those messages, but again, I mean, I was, I had, so this is like a long time ago, 30 years ago, I had literally 3 children under 2.
Mm-hmm.
I had my son, and then I had these beautiful little twin girls. And so
Oh,
seriously, 3 babies. And I'm
yeah,
like,
that's a lot.
y'all are crazy. I'm busy here, but
Yeah, you
but
were.
they said, yeah, then they're like, but you were one of us. You were a record keeper. So you can hear us. We can
Yeah.
talk to you.
Oh,
Right?
cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to,
Yeah. Sorry, go
I'm,
on.
I'm sorry. I'm just like a racehorse, that
Yeah.
creatine. Plus, I feel like I haven't talked with you in a long time.
I know, and
Yeah.
so much to say. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. But anyway, so that was kind of my experience, was that they actually yelled at me for about 5 years before I figured out who was yelling, because
Yeah.
again, 30 years
Love it.
ago, you know.
Yeah.
They were very loud. My record keepers still are. Most people's are sweet and they're all peace and love and calm and funny. Mine are just loud and pushy.
Luckily, mine are funny.
Right, mine are
They know I can
seriously pushy.
resonate with that. Also pushy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. They want us to do stuff. It's important. That's,
Yes. Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and so it's wonderful. And I mean, I love having that kind of intensity because it works for me, right?
Me too.
Yeah.
But so we have this when they said, please help us again to anchor the energy, by doing readings, by talking about it, by writing books. I've published 4 books about the Akashic records now. And so they said, but we want you to start a school. And I
Wow.
said, again, I mean, I knew I was weird. I was born weird, but still, this is a little further than I was expecting. Very galactic. And we will give you all of these galactic access keys, which are sacred prayers that move students into the energy of the Akashic records with real ease and grace. And so I have 8 access keys, because
Wow.
each one is connected to a different kind of starseed or world. right? So there's an Arcturian prayer, there's a Pleiadian prayer, a Syrian prayer, Orion, Angel, Lyran, Andromeda, I'm missing something, Galactic in general. So it's very fun when people take my Akashic workshop. We start out by experiencing these 3 different access keys, and we start to realize maybe who we've been in these other realms. Like,
Wow.
you would probably love the Arcturian prayer, Janice, right?
Well,
That would,
yeah, but it seems like that maybe we've done all these things too. Because it seems like when somebody comes through with a Palladian thing, I'm like, ooh, yeah, that too, right? It's not just one, except I do have a collective that is very, very clear of what they are. That I didn't, gosh, I guess, we've had some cool Akash conversations, but I didn't realize that all of that was in my records too. We could have just dug it out and didn't have to like go deep, deep into meditation, man.
yeah, start to ask about
Yeah.
your Arcturian lives and that mission. So the interesting thing that the record keepers often tell me about Arcturian people who are here with that mission, right? So I agree that we're very galactic, and most of us have lived in many different planets, planes, dimensions. Not all. It's like anything. You might have moved around the country and lived in 3 or 5 states, but you probably haven't lived in all 50 states, right?
Right.
Sure.
So we do a lot, right? So, but the part of the big Arcturian mission that I always hear is that it is to help bring humanity from a state of warringness, from a state of war to a state of peace to a state of enlightenment. And that's what they say the Arcturians experienced. They were a very warring world, part of the Galactic Wars, and they walled themselves off and they said, we're done fighting, right? These big galactic wars that went on forever. And we want to create peace in our world.
That's almost
She
exactly.
literally said that today.
Yep.
She goes, I
Yeah.
get the feeling that, and she goes, it's not war. And I was like, okay. And then when I hear you talking right now, I'm like, wow.
And they take it to the level of, how we fight our bodies when we're injured and hurt, like there's a sense of separation. They're like, no,
Cancer.
yeah, especially cancer is
Yep.
one we fight in this reality.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you be in it. Like this is your life experience. Like this is what you're dreaming. You be this, right? And you connect with it. And in that love and that connection is how change happens.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the opposite of what we do in this reality.
Yeah.
But it's that same sort of overarching message. Remember when you did that QHHT session with me and I had that war and we all died from that planet? That's what came up with.
Wow.
Seems like a part of it. Like I couldn't even be with the war.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember. Yes.
Anyway,
so
that was a side note there.
That was well, but the interesting, thing is that often when I teach people to access their records, and we again will open the records using the Pleiadian prayer, the Arcturian prayer, the Syrian prayer, right? These different, see what you resonate with. It's almost like, what's most comfortable, what's the easiest chair to sit in if you want to sit and read a big book kind of energy is what I say. They're all going into your records, but one is easier. One is there's more information. One I feel more relaxed and, I can download more. But
cool.
So the interesting thing to me about, some of these different access prayers and these keys is that this is all part of source vibration. It is all part of the quantum field. And truthfully, when your very first question about healing in the Akashic records, what I've realized and have even gone into a lot further over these last 5 and 10 years is that we can move into the void, which some people kind of think of as a scary non-place, but the void is actually the seed of everything. It is nothing and everything, right? So it is infinite possibilities and right, the no thing. So when I do healing for a client, I'll often see almost like a life timeline of a couple thousand years. And energetically, it's like it's in this quantum space of all and nothing. And what I see is the pain, the trauma, the really the death, the fear, all of the lower vibrational energies that block us, that lock us down. I see them almost like just dissipate, like float away like fog or smoke and completely dissipate. And then all that's left is the infinite possibilities of source. So it's very profound and beautiful. And it really speaks to the truth of who we are as creator beings, as source energy, right? As having come here to create a new earth at this time in history. So
Right.
That's right. It's all with the charts.
Well, but to create the new earth, like, can you take us back? Like, what have you learned about the Akash and what has happened to planet Earth over your work with working with people?
And I have a question.
big question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Big question.
it is a big question, but yeah, go ahead.
Maybe we can.
So these last, I'm going to go kind of the shorter time frame. I'm going to call it like 12,000 years.
Okay.
This round of humans, right? Because we've been on this planet in different versions at least 5 times. And so like this round, kind of after the great floods, we came back and we anchored all of this high vibrational energy. There were literally stargates and all of these sacred sites like the pyramids that are all over the planet, right?
Yeah.
All this, I believe we were building more like maybe even 15, 20,000 years ago, and then coming back to reactivate it, because these are like the dormant libraries on the planet. They hold the vibration. So we've gone through what I would just refer to as this karmic wheel of life. So if you can imagine, kind of the way I get this is a infinite amount of time ago. Of course, we can't really put time. We moved from, say, the 14th dimensional Earth
Okay.
down to this 3D planet. Okay. So those worlds had different names, whether they were Tara or Tiamat or Gaia or
Wow. Yes.
different worlds, different lives. But
Yes.
we, as these infinite beings, right, wanted to experience something that was different than anything else that was out there, anything we had ever experienced. And so we created this 3D world where we have complete amnesia, where we believe that we've been abandoned here by God or by our starship, whoever we believe abandoned us. Most humans have abandonment issues and patterns, right?
Yeah.
All of these beliefs, all of the trauma and the drama, they're programmed into the earth. So part of what we've been able to do, and I know that many of us have been doing this over the last 12,000 years, but for me, the last 30 years have been about deprogramming the people. So I do it personally for people as clients, but of course, as I can deprogram abandonment for someone, that ripples out through their ancestral lineage, their family group, through their community.
Yeah.
So what so many of us have been doing for these last, 50 or so years has been unwriting, in a way. When you think about the library and books and things like that, we've been unwriting some of this story that has been locked onto the planet for, let's say, if we're calling it, let's just call it 12,000 years, this story, this 3D low vibrational energy filled with, it's got enslavement programs and fear programs and abandonment programs, masculine, feminine imbalance. There is so much that we experience as people,
Yeah.
but are bigger collective contracts.
Yes.
Yes.
What would you say for someone that is really sometimes that gets this information, right? Like for me, I get it. I try to live more in that realm of not accepting or not just lying down with the lower vibration. But what would you say to someone that wants to really embody this work, but still has that, programming that like just keeps coming up, because it's a collective contract?
Yeah, so of course, a couple of things, and we start where we are, right? And so,
Right. I guess the fast
because
healing that way.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And more and more and more and more people are really able to either naturally, organically, through meditations, through dreams, through different kinds of ways, are starting to access the Akashic records
Yeah.
because we have been anchoring it for the last 50 years, really. So we start there. But one of the beautiful things is the Akashic records is pure source energy. So I often will tell my students, if you just learn to access your own Akashic records, right? I teach a very simple 5-step wisdom prayer system,
Mhm.
and I've got this upcoming class I think we'll talk about a little bit later. You
Yep.
can just go open the records. It raises your vibration from, you're
Nice.
in fear, you're in a, kind of, there's even Dr. David Hawkins wrote a book called
Yes.
Power versus Force, and it's a scale from 0 to 1,000. Well, most of us live between 0 and 200, and that's the low vibrational emotions.
Yes.
Then we break through that. It doesn't take that much to break through that. It's kind of like working on, oh, fear, is that even mine? A lot of that collective is not even yours, right?
Yeah.
And so you're taking on these patterns. So we start to learn to be the sovereign of your body, send everyone else's energy back to them. And, all of these things like tools and gifts and meditations that the record keepers have gifted humanity. So I teach a rainbow shield to send everyone else's energy back and to become the sovereign of your body, become the queen or the king of your physical body, your energy field, your auric field, so that you are literally aligning energetically to your higher self and up into the Akashic records.
Mhm.
So,
Just talking about it makes me feel better. Like, I mean,
right.
honestly, just
I
because
know.
it is those tools, it is
Yeah.
remembering, it is knowing that you have a rainbow shield that you can pull out of your, tool bag to just to get to that place of a little bit higher, just a little bit higher, and maybe a little bit higher than that, because it's easy to spiral down. And I
Yes.
just thought maybe it'd be interesting for some people to hear. I have another question too. Is there a different, or do you have to? I guess you answered this question when you said that there was a very easy prayer that anyone can do, and you teach that. Is there, why do you suggest that people use the different types of prayers that you mentioned, the Arcturian prayer versus the Palladian prayer, and do they have to?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So basically, in my Learn to Read Your Own Akashic Records course 1, we play with the vibrations of 3 prayers in that course, and you pick one and go with it, right? The only reason they've given me so many is to make it easier.
I thought so.
People who have,
Yeah.
out or energetically. So the interesting thing is, I have had many students over the years who tried the Arcturian prayer and they hate it
Yeah, I
because
gotcha.
they had past lives during the wartime. And so they're
Interesting.
like, so if that was the only prayer I used, I would probably lose half of my students right there. They would be like, ooh, I'm not that. That's scary. And so
That's
the
exactly what I thought too. I wondered if it was because
yeah,
of that reasoning, like one would resonate with someone and it was to reach more people with the Akashic records through the prayer that most resonates with them.
Yeah,
Wow.
but so
right.
So wouldn't that though also bring things up for them if they had this extreme resistance and reaction to something? There's a door for you to clear something.
Sure.
So there's
Absolutely.
that way to look at it as well. It's like, okay, great. Well, now we can clear out some of that, resistance you had to those war times.
If they're having complete resistance and she wants to get people to want to open their records and there's
I
just
see.
straight resistance, it's like, I'm not doing that.
There's
Akashic
like no
thing.
record open.
Yeah,
Right.
that
Right.
Akashic thing ain't for
Got
me.
it.
Right? Like it would,
Exactly.
like you said, you would lose people, right? People
Uh-huh.
right off the thing.
So
Yeah,
there's two
interesting.
other prayers.
Interesting. Yeah.
They
Yeah,
pick one that
fabulous.
they feel really the love, right? Because the Akashic Records is pure source. So it's pure
Yeah.
unconditional love,
Yeah.
pure peace and expanse. So they pick one that feels like that. And then during the workshop, we're using that easy access key. And then at one point, we'll be like, which is the one you like the least? Pick your least favorite prayer and let's open the records and ask our record keepers for some healing around it. And we can start to clear some of the
Love that.
emotional pain and
Yeah.
trauma from past life. So
Yeah.
I am a huge advocate of clearing old energies. And that's literally, I consider myself a healer almost first and foremost. That was my first realization when I was like 13 years old. I'm like, I came to be a healer. How weird, whatever that means,
Yeah.
So that's why I literally was studying healing for 8 years before the Akashic Record Keepers kind of came through. But we can then go in again, and I teach all of these things to my students because it's time to empower ourselves. The record keepers say that accessing your own Akashic records is your birthright, right? This is not just for the special few.
Yes.
It's everyone's birthright.
Yes.
And when everyone is doing clearing, healing for themselves, that is rippling out in a huge way and really clearing some of these collective programs.
Cool. Well, let's take some callers and clear some of these collective programs if you'd like.
Let's. Yeah.
All right, go ahead and raise your hand if you would like to ask Lisa a question. Lisa, is there a way that you like questions asked?
Yep.
Okay, how would you
Yeah,
like
so
them asked?
let's do two things.
Okay.
One, I want to bring everyone into the Akashic Records with me. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I find this is a way that we can do collective group healing for everyone instead of just one
Yeah.
person getting an answer, right? So to me, actually, because the Akash is a very deep, expansive energy, I like to do literally a process when I do a reading for a client. I really spend a little time to go deep into their Akashic records. So I want to do that with everyone and bring you into the Akash with me.
Okay.
And then if you ask questions that are more about, maybe I'm challenged with a health thing, or maybe I'd love to find more of a soul partner, what's blocking me, or I have this pain or this trauma or this, emotional abandonment issue, or, all these different, like, let's clear the issues that are coming up so that we can do this for each one of you who's having an issue, but collectively then we all have similar stuff, right? We
Yes.
all have whatever it might be. And so then everybody gets a healing with every question is kind of the way I
Love
do
it.
this. So, all of that said, if you all can sit back and close your eyes and just really take a moment to drop down into your sacred heart center. Just taking a few nice, kind of slow, deep breaths. And we invite our soul, this big aspect of ourselves, to come more fully down into the physical body, dropping all the way down into filling the torso, dropping into our hips, our legs, our feet, as we connect to our dear Mother Earth beneath our feet. And we ask the divine lords of unconditional love to help us center fully in this moment as we create this sacred space. Please wrap us in your love and protection and allow us to travel to the highest realms of the Akasha available to us today. Please help as we lay our multidimensional hearts open to divine love and release all resistance. Lords of the Akashic Record, please guide us to the deepest truth we can access now. Support us in healing and releasing that which no longer serves on our true path. We give great thanks for your divine love and support on this journey today. And just allowing yourself a few more deep breaths. Just notice what you notice. You may feel or see this column of Akashic energy and light surround you. You may feel the love of the divine, the source energy encircling you, the light, the peace that comes with this beautiful high vibrational Akashic energy. And because what we're doing is we're really allowing you and supporting each one of you to access your own Akashic records, let's just take a moment and you can thank your record keepers for being in support of you in this moment. And we also ask them to help us to uplift and clear, to release and delete anything that no longer serves you as we do this work today. Beautiful. And then you can come back and open your eyes. The records are with us. They are encircling us all around the world in this beautiful moment. And so, yeah, so Lynn-Lee, is that if you want to unmute yourself, I see you've got your hand raised. And if there's something you could ask in a bit of a general way so it can help us all, that would be lovely.
Well, first up, okay, I have a little bit of I guess it's a health issue in that I've got something going on in my jaw where I clench so bad that I'm loosening my teeth. It's just insane.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Perfect, because, and I would say that I know a lot of people who are having a very similar issue. So what the record keepers are saying, there's an aspect of that which is connected to, again, a very, very ancient pattern that has kept us quiet, especially as women, right? Where we have been consciously and unconsciously trained to keep our mouths shut, to not speak our truth, to not be particularly seen and certainly not heard. And so there's a couple things that the record keepers are saying are happening. And some of it, it's almost as we're undoing these old patterns. And I want to do some energy work for you and everybody who has these kind of patterns, to help to break down some of this programming. And we'll do some work around the fifth chakra, right, which is also about communication, but it shows up in our throat and often in our jaw. So old patterns, they get reinforced by the humans in our life. They're often reinforced by our parents, by our schools, by our churches, by our everything else in the world has these same kind of contracts, patterns, beliefs. And so just take a couple of breaths, everybody who might feel, I mean, I get it also, some days I'm like, oh, what was I doing last night? And sometimes we're working really hard in, right, our records on the astral plane, right, in these other realms. And so what we're asking is for the record keepers, again, as I said, each one of you have your own set of keepers and they are working with you specifically. And so what I'm seeing, what they're kind of showing me is almost like an unlocking, for lack of a better word. But I feel like they're almost like if you have a screwdriver and they're unscrewing like the bolts that have kept our jaws locked down, and they're clearing and opening and undoing some of the collective patterns around not speaking your truth. That's like super big. That's the one that I'm really hearing, not speaking your truth. So we want to undo that, release, delete that so you can, and we're going to do some work on the also the fifth chakras for everybody so that you feel to me, I get it like space feels like you have the room and the space to even know in a way. And to what your truth is that feels important to speak out. And sometimes we speak it into a journal or maybe to a best friend, but it's so helpful and healing for us to be able to say, this is what I'm feeling and experiencing. This is my truth. It may not be my partner's or my best friend's or it out in the world, but this is my truth. And it's important for you to own it and speak it. And so all of those energies are flowing through all of us as they flow through my words out into this collective energy. So just feel what you feel, right? Just notice what you notice. For some of us, we may feel a little warm. Maybe you feel it in your heart. You know, maybe you even get a little pop in your jaw. It in the end, it kind of is a little bit more irrelevant if we get a thing or not. It's more about the allowingness and knowing that your highest aspect is happening for you. Beautiful. Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Manisha, you're up.
Thank you, Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Clenching the teeth is also relevant to me. I've been given a mouth guard to wear at night to stop my teeth because I'm clenching them. I never did this before, so thank you for the healing. I'd love some healing for removing blocks for receiving financial abundance, releasing blocks of betrayal.
Okay.
Please.
Oh, good. Okay. No, that's perfect because I mean, there's many different levels and layers of abundance, right? So some of these places where we know it's connected to betrayal, then it's, you know, definitely let's work because that's another huge program. Right? You know, betrayal and abandonment are really very intertwined in so many different ways. So I'm going to just ask all of our record keepers to work on clearing any emotional pain and trauma of betrayal in this life. And so they really, the way I see it is it's kind of like they go back to that time that maybe more specific to you or time frame that's specific to you, but everyone's is going to be different, right? So if each of you are getting a little hit or a noticing or an image or a remembering, you know, yours will be unique to you, of course. And then so the record keepers are I'm kind of a fan of a couple of things of blowing stuff up because to me they're like energetic blocks. So when we can blow up this emotional pain, it releases and is able to be recycled because we've taken like a solid ball of energy. And one of the very cool tools and techniques that the record keepers have given me is to teach people how to energetically blow up stuff so that we can release it, recycle it for your highest good. So you're reclaiming that energy that was lost to you in a sense, and now you can utilize it. And so we're blowing up any of that emotional pain, trauma around betrayal and around abandonment. Those are the two, as they also relate to abundance of all kinds. We'll just go because it could be around love, it could be around money, it could be vitality, health, right? So, and then I'm just going to ask the record keepers to go back through our past life timeline quickly, like I was describing earlier, and just clearing, releasing, deleting, again, emotional pain and trauma around that aspect of betrayal and abandonment, and then letting that all go. And then we breathe into the beautiful energy of the infinite possibilities of creation as we release that old stuck energy. We open the space of allowing abundance of all kinds. We don't have to know how it's going to show up. We don't have to create it or do it in the moment. This is very much about that beautiful energy of spacious allowingness in the quantum, infinite possibilities. Beautiful. Yeah, like I'm kind of seeing rainbows across our timelines. I really love that. So beautiful. Good.
Wow.
Thank
Well,
you, thank you. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you,
thank
Leah.
you, Manisha. I just found it interesting that she asked about financial abundance and you went into abandonment, and there was something that felt really light about it, like incredibly light. It was just like, yep, that's exactly where it goes.
That's wow.
Yeah, not for all of us, but I think for many.
Right, right.
Wow.
Right, those two, and yeah, and abandonment and betrayal is the other huge one too. That when and we have so many past lives where like our business partner ran off with all the money, or kind of things like
Right.
Yeah.
these huge financial betrayals,
Yeah.
and and we make these vows. We say, "I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to make money. I'm not going to have a business partner." We get
Ugh.
happy about it, and we shut it down, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Burn,
gonna
that's the fire.
yes.
Yeah.
Burn those vows. Burn all those
Woo.
vows. Yeah.
Yeah. It was wow. All right.
Who
Next.
got you? I'm glad
Oh,
you asked
you
that
have a question
question.
on the chat.
Yes, I do. Cheryl says, and maybe we can do this for us all. It says, please do a healing for, and she said for her, but for all kinds of health issues. She says she has all kinds of health issues and money, and it costs money to get the treatments done. And she has trouble finding a doctor to probably diagnose because she has a little, oh, and because she has trouble speaking up for herself. I think many can relate, I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So good. We already did the whole kind of starting to speak up, letting that open.
Yeah.
And what the record keepers are suggesting is to see your really your throat chakra, your fifth chakra, as it opens with ease, just releasing. Our chakras are like they're flexible, so they can open like 100% and close down to about 10%. So it's almost like imagine doing fifth chakra calisthenics. Just let it open. That's comfortable, like you don't want to push too much. And then, okay, close back where it's comfortable. And even if you think about doing that like once a day or something, same thing, jaw, just relax. And just knowing your communication ability is expanding in that way. So that's part of the earlier piece too, and is important for us to speak up to ourselves. But what I'm hearing the record keepers are suggesting that we actually bring in an upgraded physical level genetic blueprint for everyone. That sounds like the kind of simplest, clearest answer, right? And so we will invite each of your record keepers who are there to bring in, right? Your body has an original blueprint, and we're asking for the updated, right? 12 strands of DNA, more light, more crystalline, easier to hold, the higher vibrations, all of this light that's coming to Earth. It's so really, it is empowering, but it can also feel exhausting, right? And so I see it almost like a architectural schematic, and the way they show it up to me, and you will all receive this however it shows up for your body. To me, it's almost like that schematic dropping down into the crown chakra and just starting to expand into your whole body.
Wow.
Just leaving just a couple of deep, slow breaths, and we just ask our record keepers to help us to integrate this new genetic blueprint into our bodies on a cellular level.
Lisa, I've been hearing the word blueprint many times. And in fact, I was called to name something with the word blueprint. And I thought, oh, that's such an antiquated kind of word. All the fun marketing words, right? And A was like, no, blueprint. And then right now I had asked in my mind, why blueprint? And lo and behold, before I could even get the question out, you were already telling me about the schematic. And you see it as a schematic. And I was like, yep, that's why, because it is received as so. And so people can receive that with that specific, terminology as well, because that is what it is. Wow,
And
that was
it's like, and
magical.
it's like
Thank
a
you.
packet of
Yeah,
information.
yeah, exactly. And so I thank you. Yeah, because that is what brilliantly with the word light describes it as such. So thank you. Yeah.
So I
Fascinating.
just love that feeling too, is and what people can do is like imagine that schematic dropping in, and so you have that in your whole body. But one of the things I love to imagine is every cell lighting up, like from the tippy top of your head, just little rows of lights lighting up and waking up. And I just kind of watch these
Mm,
lights go through the whole body over the day, just to let that energy upgrade and update every day. There's more light every day. You can just ask your record keepers whether you
yes.
feel you're connected, they're there anyway, and just be like, help me to really integrate the soul on a cellular level,
Mm,
integrate that new blueprint. Let's get that, let's keep integrating it every single day.
yes.
Notice what you notice. Yeah.
Wow.
So
You-
awesome. Wow.
Do you want to take a few more, or do you want to go and talk about what what you're doing next?
I'd
Yeah,
love to do both.
I say
Okay.
let's go ahead and talk about her special offer that she brought for us.
Well, then we'll take a couple more
Yeah,
callers. Okay,
yeah, hang tight.
great.
Stay on with us.
All right.
Good, good, good.
It,
Beautiful.
it's funny because you really are kind of this flowy energy with this watery feeling, and then like everything is branded that way as well. It's just so congruent. It's incredible.
Right. I would say a mermaid, a mermaid
I love
Really like
it.
a mermaid, yeah.
embodies.
That's what, yeah.
That's my
I've
spirit
been
animal.
I feel like I'm like
whale.
a water dragon.
Oh, I'm
No,
totally a
yeah, those
mermaid.
two. I just have tons of water lives in different
Me
worlds.
too.
Like Sirius has a whole water planet.
Mhm.
Sirius A is whales and dolphins and mer, very
Oh,
water
I
friendly.
can hang out there anytime. Oh,
It
how
is
fun.
life. So, so I have an upcoming live online workshop with me, and it is going to be March 20th through the 22nd. It's 3 half days, and I will teach you to really deeply
Wow.
learn to be guided by your soul and the wisdom of your Akashic library, and to be able to speak to and communicate with your Akashic record keepers. And so, of course, in this workshop, I share 3 of the access prayers. And I teach you my 5-step wisdom prayer system. So I don't know if you want to scroll down a little bit. I think there's a little, obviously people can go back and read some of the verbiage. But this is a beautiful thing. Wait, oops, stop 1 sec. Sorry. I was going to be by accessing your records, right? You can really open your heart. You're moving into pure divine love. That will raise your vibration faster than anything else I've ever seen, right? You can understand your relationships. Like, why would I have picked this abusive parent? Or why all these relationships?
Yeah.
Right? We can start to learn how to clear our personal energy field, creating healthy boundaries, using the rainbow shield, sending people their energy back, again, aligning, right? All these things is helping you to align with greater ease into the Akashic records and to your highest and best life that you're here to create. So I teach a lot of different tools, We work with soul contracts because most of us write about 50 soul contracts with other people. Some have karma attached, right? They're karmic patterns where they're not easy, happy, often kind of relationships, but they're about your soul's growth. So we wanted to learn that. We chose to have these karmic relationships so we can remember a greater, deeper truth of who we are. We can heal ourselves. We can help to heal people around us in that way. And so, yeah, I love that. It is, as one of my students said, so amazing and life-changing. I weirdly teach things very linearly. I am kind of a linear, weird, expanded person. I don't know.
That's awesome.
That's kind of cool. That's needed in this reality.
Yes.
Yeah. So 5-step wisdom prayer system,
Yeah.
keys, right?
I'm here for it.
Right. We do questions.
Yes.
Some people kind of get there through meditation, but then they can't repeat it when they're like maybe having a bad day, right? They can't meditate. They're too worried. They're stressed. Something has happened. And this, you have an access prayer. You read it 3 times, right? It's a simple process.
I love that.
Yeah. And so through this 3-day program, really there's 6 sessions. It's a very deep 12-hour plus dive. There is a manual where everything is written out. The 5-step wisdom prayer system is written out, right? The easy to follow manual. So I suggest people print it and you can, go back and forth. I do the whole class with slides, so everything is shown for you. But if you have your written manual, you also have a written 45-page guide to go back and use every day when you're working on your own.
Wow.
So I'm there answering your questions, giving you exercises and processes. We're sharing, we're experiencing the beautiful energy because, of course, I'm bringing you into the Akash and supporting you in this greater expansion as we do these 3 days, 15 hours, 16 hours, something like that. I forget what 3 days equals. Sometimes it's like, oh, that's a little longer. Anyway, but it's really a deep dive into learning how you can access your own Akashic records with ease, right? And then there's a bunch of bonuses. There's guided visualizations that I offer you. I offer everybody a 25% discount on a one-on-one reading with me. The bonus too is a 45-minute healing call that's pre-recorded. So people listen to it again and again. It's to open your clairvoyance, open your clairaudience, open your, right? Open all your clairs.
Love it.
So that's literally what I did for about 45 minutes is I just did a big collective healing and speak about it. And you can, of course, the energy is always there and you can start peeling more layers for yourself with that. Of course, there's my rainbow shield that I mentioned earlier as another bonus. And, they've got music in the background if you like to listen. They're like 10-minute guided visualizations. I move very fast, right? Like Jenith. I'm very, we're kind of hyper. So,
I love
want
it.
it done quick.
I do too.
Right? Most people don't have an hour every morning. So that's like, get grounded.
Yes.
Go shield. Do this beautiful process for your day. And you can do it in 5 or 10 minutes. So grounding the kite, again, another kind of way energetically I teach people to really embody your full soul and anchor it into your physical form. And then another beautiful bonus of calling back your energy, because we give our energy away to everybody and then we wonder why we're exhausted.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all of those bonuses, the 3 full days live with me, of course, 3 days, March 20th, 21st, and 22nd. You can see all the times there. It's on Zoom and it is Yeah.
Replays for every session. Yes.
Yes, replays for
Awesome.
every session, right? And it's a single payment of 333, or you can make two payments. And
Wow.
That's huge.
That is, wow. Phenomenal. Wow.
Look at all these testimonials.
I mean, obviously, just speaking with you, you have a wealth of knowledge that has already blown me away again. Uh,
thank
and
you.
I feel like I have a little bit of experience in working with the Akashic Records just because they called out to me. I can easily see who people, like even me, working in the records, have that experience, read for other people, how I feel so drawn to this because of the wealth of knowledge that you've put, 20 plus years into working with.
30.
I said plus, and I would like
Starting
to
to
honor
date me. I'm like,
the plus working in the space and how this, and you've witnessed firsthand how the changes have been. And then speaking about, things that I have never even, fathomed.
Yeah.
So awesome. Very beautiful.
Do they get the bonuses as soon as they register? So they can
yes.
kind of get started.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Yes. Yes. So of course, right, as soon as you register, then you'll get login information. You can listen to the, see, hear, feel, start to clear your clairs, download all the meditations, download the manual, print it out. So you're all ready for the
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And look through and see what might come up as a question. And yeah, that's beautiful. Wow. 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 Wow.
Oh my goodness. This is a big thing, you guys. So the link is in the chat. It will also be in the YouTube in the caption area. And it will, of course, also be in the newsletter. So if this is something that you're called to do, it's a 3-day, 15-hour course, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, March 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And if you register by the 14th, you save some money.
Yeah, I mean, the value here is so immense. I mean, just, compared to if you just look at it, the time with you live, the ability to ask the questions, all the bonuses, it's like, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm even like I knew the pricing, but I was
something you
still floored.
You can kind of live in,
Yeah,
you
amazing.
can like make this a practice.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is. It
it's
really
really,
is. It's an empowerment tool for your life, because
yeah.
really what the record keepers say is open your records every day, which takes 2 minutes literally to do the prayer, and open your records and move into the Akash, 2 minutes. And then even if you spend 10 or 15 minutes being in this energy of pure divine love and peace,
Mhm.
I mean, that again, it's just transformational. And then you start to ask questions. You can ask a simple question. What's like some of the highest and best things I could do for my life today? Or is there an exercise that might be really beneficial that's connected more into my soul kind of energies? Or how can I be of service to my family or my community, right? Or is there,
Mm.
right? What can, I mean, there's a billion questions. I actually give you 2 pages of 30 plus questions just to start even asking questions. I am like just the fount of questions. And I teach you that in this 15-hour workshop. I teach you how to ask questions so you can go deep and really utilize this empowerment tool for your life, right?
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, truly,
That
you want to learn it. Here you go. Like it. All right, let's take a few more callers here if you've got time.
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, Kristen, you're up.
Hi, thank you so much. Another financial question. Had lost my job a few months ago and have been trying to make money wildly unsuccessfully. And I feel like I'm right there and I have an idea, but I'm curious what you have to say on this. Thank you.
What, funny, what they're saying is alignment. So I think that's kind of interesting. It almost, it's kind of like you just need to move over a hair. Right? Like I sometimes do this, I'll be like, oh, I'm out of alignment here, right? And then if I just go, oh, Oh, okay, that feels better, right? So there's some tweak with what you're working on is what they wanted to say to you. And kind of in that more general collective aspect, what they want us to work on is what I call havingness. Okay, so the past life challenge was we were monks, right? We were priests or but almost more in the old Buddhist and Hindu traditions where we might have been ascetics. We were monks living in caves. We had a tiny little rice bowl, right? This is all I need in my life. All I need is a grain of rice and I'm good, right? And so the interesting thing that the record keepers show me is that many of us do not have the ability to hold abundance of any kind, including vitality or health but wealth, money, we feel we only deserve a tiny little bit. And so that's all we get. And so even if it flows in, I bet that some of you have this, oh, then the car breaks, the pet needs to go to the vet, something happens, I get sick. So where we end up turning around and having to spend that little bit of abundance, that money we just saved, it goes right back out because you don't have a capacity to hold and let it be big container and let it fill and just flow with this huge ease and grace. So that's what I'm being told to work on.
I love
So,
it.
yeah. So we just ask. Basically, of course, we're activating everybody's personal record keepers, and they're showing me that all of you have had numerous of these types of lives as monks or some kind of ascetic or some, I like to burn the vows of poverty, right? Vows of chastity and obedience when we were nuns or monks, right? Those vows are real things, and they still do it in churches today. Like, I will not take money for my God-given gifts is kind of what the vow says. So
Oops. Maybe
we
we
want to
unvow that.
burn those vows.
Burn
So
that vow.
burn that vow.
Yeah. I'm lightheaded.
Yesterday I was on a conference and this guy, he's just wealthy and free. And he said, for the wealthy, everything costs the same. Like it's not, they don't look at the price of anything. And he was
That makes
talking
total
about
sense.
$11,000 an hour private jet that he took. And it was just kind of this like, it was almost unfathomable, that somebody could just be like, here's my entourage, and I have no idea how much they cost because that's how much I have.
I'm sure
Right.
he shared that to get a charge out of people
Yeah,
to have some
yeah.
type of
Well, I think
response.
it got
Yeah.
a charge out of me because I was like, wow, that is very different way to live a life.
Right.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
You're multi-millionaire, right?
yeah,
Which, you don't
yeah.
think about it.
No,
It's
it's just
nothing,
there and it's like, great, let's go. Let's take the private jet.
Yeah.
I don't care
right?
how much it costs an
Yeah.
hour. Yeah.
Let's clear, release, delete anybody who's getting triggered by that.
Yeah.
I know,
Right.
right?
Right. And I'm sure that is exactly why it was shared that way.
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I was triggered. I mean, I was
So,
triggered in kind of a happy way. Like, ooh, I can get
Well, and
into
for me,
this.
it was like, I don't know. Anyway, go ahead. It was more about earth and
well,
environments and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, that too. It's wasteful.
Either way, it triggers something,
Yeah,
right.
because it triggers me on waste.
whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Right. Oh my gosh, right? That energy blueprint is like humongous to have your own private jet and waste, anyway. But
Yeah.
Right.
so what I see, the way I see it in the records is I see these triggers look like little balls of hot light, like not good, shiny, bright light, more like a burning coal that you don't want to touch.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
because it's like a burning coal that you do not want to touch,
Yeah.
we don't ever go there.
Oh,
So we ignore all of those
yeah, we
triggers.
do.
And
I do.
And then you can never have it. I mean, talk about havingness,
yeah,
because you
right.
can't even like fathom taking a step forward, not even for 20 minutes a day. Like you can't even go there in your mind.
Wow.
That's sort of like people who don't want to dive into their dreams. You know, they just would rather not see it because they don't think that they can create it. So they just don't go there. It's kind of that same uncomfortable zone.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
interesting.
that beautiful, again, to me, one of the gifts of being in the Akash is that peace and that the infinite possibilities of the quantum, right?
Yeah.
Hope and knowing, really, to
Oh,
me, that you are a creator being. We really are made in the image of the divine. We
yep.
truly are creator beings, and it is right. The quantum field is within you, if you can hear
Yes.
that. I sometimes see that, like in a meditation, like that whole galaxy, kind of cool, images. So the record keepers are clearing and kind of blowing up these like hot spots of fear and trauma.
Mhm.
And so we're clearing those because those are huge levels. And then we're burning all those vows of poverty. Any vow that we made, like sometimes we were really wealthy, but then we got killed because someone came and killed us and stole all our money.
Yep.
Or we had no friends or family because we were not very nice because we were really filthy rich and we thought everybody was below us.
My family was killed in one lifetime because of money, right?
Right,
So then I found ways where I wanted to shut that down because I don't want to lose my family and the people I love.
right.
Yeah, it's very interesting how these things can show up and be very, very specific.
Right.
Yeah.
And because, again, I'm going to just say everybody here has had at least 500 or 600 lives. We get a bunch of them, not just one, and so
Right.
I often see a life of myself where I see myself like as a man in a coach, a very fancy, gilded coach, going probably from like my estate to somebody else's estate. It's like the 1400s, and you get those whatever robbers on the road that kill everybody and take all the money because you're carrying a lot of money and gold or jewels or whatever, you know and in that moment, as your blood is leaking out and you're slowly dying, you're like, I never want to have money again, right?
Yep.
These are vows, they are
Wow.
very sticky. I never want to have money. And so those, I know, I also have a life that I often see is kind of like the weird quintessential. It's like the king or the big in older times we had huge manors. We were like the king of a realm, right? And there were probably
Yeah.
hundreds of them, like in England and every country.
Yes.
But I always see myself kind of that it's kind of awful. You're just dying, like kind of almost
Yeah.
rotting away, and there's no one to take care of me because I have, gotten rid of everybody because I didn't trust anybody to be. And it's almost like you're sitting in one of those rooms that have all the gold and the jewels. You know how they show that, like sometimes with the big dragon, but kind of the throne room with all the gold. I don't trust anybody, so I've sent everyone away, and now I'm just like dying of starvation and rotting here in my throne room. It's like,
Like Versailles.
burn that. Yeah, right. Let's
That's
burn
kind
them
of the
both.
vibe of Versailles, I think.
Yeah, something kind of crazy. So
Yeah.
anyway, everybody has some version of that. We're blowing it all up for everybody,
Yes.
Yeah.
whatever that is. And then, okay. And any of those vows where we were like little monks in a cave or whatever that is, where that's all we needed, we're going to clear those vows of poverty, vows of, anyway, any and all of those vows.
Yeah.
And then now just imagine, feel the energy or see or however people experience this little bowl and start to just spread your hands, your arms wider and wider and wider, as wide as you can reach, right? And then
Yeah.
imagine bigger. It could be as big as your house. It could be as big as the planet. There does not have to be any limit to your ability to kind of have and hold and share, because so many of us, especially in the spiritual world, we would love to have a huge abundance so we can share it and give it away and start foundations and do good with it, right?
Mhm.
And so, let it be as big as the whole planet.
Yeah.
So it's just pure flow of the energy of abundance for you always.
Wow.
Nice. That feels good.
Beautiful. Thank you. Well, you want to take one more and it will make it quick?
Sure. I
Yeah.
see we've got one more hand up who's been waiting. So absolutely.
All right, Susan, you're up. Wow. I just really can palpably feel her.
Hello. Hello.
Hi,
Go ahead,
Susan.
Susan.
Hi, it's me. I
No.
lost my voice.
Oh no.
It's rewiring. Just have a sip of water. Everything is getting rewired.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes, and this is good. Thank you, Susan, for like
I
being
lost my
that
voice.
example. But it may take people 2 or 3 days for all of this healing we've done to move through and out of your body and out through your auric field. So some people will, sometimes some of the emotions are coming up to leave, but we see them as they're leaving and we're like, ugh, but it's like, nope, thank you for the learning. I release you with ease and grace. Just let it go. Cry a little, take a nap. You may be tired. All of those are normal symptoms of healing also.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And if we talk about physical healing, there is a little bit on the chat too that I think might also be in the same realm. And I just felt compelled to also share this too. Like 2 people were writing in about being recently diagnosed with cancer, and it believed that their mother was the one that led her to because she had just recently passed and was the one that saved her life. And the other is also looking for cancer now that it's vanished, for healing, so that this cancer is vanished from the body. And I think that there's healing to be had here as well as we listen in with Susan.
Yeah, so maybe we can include them with Susan.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh,
ahead,
yes,
Susan.
please do. And can I also include my husband in this healing also?
Yes.
And we're all connected, especially I'm connected to him. Well, anyway, thank you for taking my call. Much appreciated. Lisa, I just like to know, how can I clear the blocks to what I don't want to see from the Akashic records and from, excuse me, past lives, to restore my vision? But I know it's blocked by not wanting to see.
Oh, I see. Okay, I get it. Right.
You get what I mean? Like
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So all the past lives where you were really killed for being a seer is how I get that. Right? All the lives, and then we shut down and they also want to say something about that. So we're going to do some clearing on the past lives where we're killed for being a seer or hurt or harmed in some way. And it's always interesting to me that there's these other levels of kind of enslavement. I really feel like as an oracle, we were enslaved. We were often, when we had gifts, we were enslaved because of our gifts. So someone would be like, even if they paid us, but like, wait, you're the private seer for the king, but you could never leave. It wasn't really a freedom. It was an enslavement. So that big energy of enslavement is also a piece that blocks us from.
I have a quick question. Does that also would affect your physical vision? If like if your eyes were gouged out because you saw something you should have seen, or for whatever other reasons, does that carry through then, like with the physical vision, like say in this realm?
It probably doesn't as much, because a lot of those lives are at least hundreds, if not thousands of years ago. And so it doesn't tend to, unless that is the karmic work you wanted to work on. So some people may come in and lose their vision or be born blind because they really want to have a very different experience. And again, heal the fears of these experiences, heal the traumas of these. So
you hit it right there. My whole body just shook.
yeah. So some people, of course, it's all unique to each, and that's why we all have a whole team and a whole record, and why I feel it's so important and valuable to be able to access your own records, right? Because we're talking about hundreds, for most of us, at least probably 100 different kinds of lifetimes. And we're in the quantum, so we ask to let that be released. But again, in a physical form, the record keepers usually give us pieces that are digestible, right? That you can actually kind of clear that layer, and then that layer, and then that layer. And that's how come I'm still working in the records all these 40 whatever plus years later on my own stuff too, and on the collective stuff. So let's just I'm going to ask the record keepers to clear whatever is available for you, Susan, and of course every one of you, lifetimes where you were killed or hurt or harmed as a seer or as an oracle. It could be there's witch lives in there where we were healers and we were killed as witches. There's a lot of still trauma around that energy where we were enslaved for our gifts. And sometimes we were enslaved, sometimes we were killed. So all of that is really important to clear. So I just, again, to me, the really fastest, easiest way is to move into the quantum void, this expanse of no time, space, and just let the record keeper start to clear the trauma, clear the emotional pain, clear any kind of blocks, any vows, any contracts where we said, I'm not doing that again. That got me killed. I got my eyes, poked out, whatever it was, right? And to me, again, another great gift. You don't have to see these lives. Many of us are more clairaudient, claircognizant, because we don't want to see the gore, right? My record keepers show me an out of focus snapshot, like an old Polaroid. They're not that big, but they were Polaroids. Remember Polaroid cameras?
Right. Oh yeah, I remember. I'm old.
My vision, I consider myself clairvoyant. It's kind of a joke, but all I see is like a out of focus snapshot, which is good enough. And then I know the story. I sometimes, feel, I get the story about the contracts, other lives, lots of different information. I don't want to have a movie of that life, right? So to me, we judge things like clairvoyance. And so what they want us to do is let go of our judgment about not being clairvoyant enough to do any of this work. You do not need to be clairvoyant at all to do this work. You can hear, you can see, you can know, not see, you can feel, you can know. Claircognizance, very claircognizance, my favorite. Claire, you just know it. It's so cool. You just know everything. It just drops in so we just want to release any and all of these traumas from all of these numerous, many lifetimes, right? So as our just releasing the pain, all the stories. And again, as we do this for ourselves, this is connected into these big collective programs. So that's why I love to get, whether it's, 2 or more, but you get 3 people, 5 people, 20 people. It's phenomenal what you can do collectively with just, this collective group healing. So very, very, very powerful, very helpful. So I'm just kind of watching all of these different lives, all of these pains and these traumas, because it's time for us to step back forward. And of course, as everything we've spoken about, the record keepers are saying, it's about being able to step out with your gifts, with your truth, right? With your wisdom, with your higher vibrational energy, to share, to be seen, to write that book, to teach that class, to be the light. That's why we're all here. And so all of this collective work that we're doing is about that, is empowering really the light workers to get out there even in a bigger way, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. So beautiful, beautiful.
Wow, Lisa, this has been good.
Beautiful. So
Like huddled myself.
oh, good. So kind of last step, we're going to fill everyone up with their highest Akashic energy, light, and wisdom from your own personal record keepers, right? We've moved a lot of energy out. And like I said, always fill yourself up with your highest light, your highest Akash, your highest soul energy, right? Be the sovereign of this body and energy field.
Drop.
And we see that becoming a beautiful, as I call it, the rainbow shield. First, you turn into a golden egg, which I always love, and then you get a rainbow shield on top of that. So that you are the sovereign of your body, and no one and nothing may enter your physical body or your energy field without your permission and your consent. And that's how we start to really be the sovereigns kind of with ease. And again, that's one of the bonuses that I teach in the workshop and I give you as a recorded rainbow shield, so we can all, be the sovereign and be on our path and do the work we have come to do, because your work is so important for humanity at this point. Your personal work, whatever it is, don't judge it. It's perfect. Just speak your truth. And so we thank the Akashic Record Keepers for all the love, the healing, the guidance, the wisdom, the abundance, all the light. And we close and lock the group records for now. And so it is. Let's it be.
So it is.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks everyone for asking the questions. To really opened up this frequency. It's pretty,
Thank you, thank you, thank
pretty
you.
flowy.
Amazing.
Thank you, Lisa. Wow.
Thank you.
Oh, such a pleasure. Thank you for having me on. I just feel
Yes.
very blessed to spend this time with everyone and really have permission to do this collective work, because that's my purpose. So thank you for letting me live my purpose and really do this work where we're unwriting these programs so we can all be free and move forward and create our new earth. And it's very, very, very beautiful, and it is happening. It is here.
Yes.
Yes.
Some comments from the chat says, thank you, Jenna. Thank you, Leonka. Thank you, Lisa. Amazing call. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Love the arms open, the whole lovely words by you and the abundance and release. And so powerful. Awesome. Thank you. Gosh, thank you, Lisa. So many really beautiful comments here on the chat too. So thank you from everyone.
Thank you.
Yay.
And if you're joining us on YouTube, we'd love your comments and what you really thought about this show. We'd love to hear it. It helps us know when we need to bring people back.
Of course. Yes.
Yes.
And if you have a question for next time, because we'd love to have Lisa at some point back on the show. It's been a beautiful, beautiful afternoon with her today, for sure.
Just a reminder about Lisa's course. If you buy it in just the next couple of days, by March 14th, you get a discount. And the course starts the 20th, the 19th or the 20th. So it's coming up right away. So
it's amazing course.
The link is in the chat and it will be in the YouTube caption. Fabulous. I'm going to unpin you. And we have just a couple announcements. The first one that is our Mystique Society. It's a mastermind with all with us and you, and it really just takes you into the flow. It's $37 a month. It's at the bottom of the newsletter. And if you're not on our newsletter, join us at houthustle.com and jump on the newsletter so that you get all the updates about our upcoming speakers. Next Thursday, we're having Orna and Matthew Walters on, who are some just dynamic people. They'll talk about self-love and really being love. And it's just going to be a flowy conversation. And next, I wanted to remind you, we have a new program out. It's the harmonic frequencies for chakras. It's 7 frequencies. They're an hour each, so it's a 7-hour program. We currently have it priced at $27. So look for that. It just came out, a week and a half ago.
So how does it work a little bit?
So you listen to these frequencies, and we do recommend noise canceling headphones, and the frequencies just change your vibe.
Yeah.
I've been listening to them, and I'll choose one. I've been focusing on the heart lately. So, go fourth chakra. But they're re-engineered by actual sound engineers, and you can sample them on the page. And that's at houphustle.com/chakra. If you're just kind of curious, you want to test them out and see if it aligns for you.
Yeah. And one of the things that I really love about the chakras is that it always is amazing to me how I always hear about the chakras and healing. And this is just one of those things that I don't have to know how it works.
Yeah.
I just know that it does. So that's really exciting. The other thing we want to remind you too is that we always believe in giving back. A portion of the proceeds always go back to benefit riseandf.org. It's started by children. They repair laptops. They're doing different things in their schools. And so when they repair the laptops, they give them to other students who are in need for use in education and wellness. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that we have is that we're having the following Tuesday, we have Suzanne back.
Okay.
So Suzanne
Yeah,
Alexandria. And she will be back talking about Akashic Records as well, but she also blends in a lot of the
Mary Magdalene.
exactly, the Mary Magdalene energies and the feminine, and how we can actually enter our Akashic, the Akash, and actually learn things about our own selves and how to connect and really blend in and be more of the divine energy the divine feminine energy that is really empowering for us. And I think that, sometimes that might be something that's a little bit lost in our conversations. So that she's super excited about coming on. She was phenomenal last time we were on with her. So we had a lot of people responding back in to ask. And then after that, we will have Beth. And so you'll be able to see the whole lineup here on the main page, where you can opt in to get all of the information if you're not already. That's at howhustle.com. And of course, Jeneth is waiting to say something. So go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Okay, I thought maybe I missed something
Nope.
there.
Nope, I'm good.
Awesome.
So, and if you ever have any questions, you can email us at team@houphustle.com. If you are on YouTube, we love seeing your comments, your likes, and subscribes, and hit the bell for the reminder. We're also putting up the YouTubes early now. So if you want to just kind of queue up and get notified about that, you can get notified by that as well.
Awesome.
All right. So we meet every Tuesday and Thursday at this time, and we see you next Thursday. And don't forget about Mystique tomorrow for all you guys that are in it. Bye, everyone.